What is the biggest problem on Earth? The biggest problem on planet Earth, not just the biggest problem on Earth, but the biggest problem in the nation and even the biggest problem in the home. It's worth thinking about, and there are many big issues. If you discuss it, there are issues like nuclear weapons and climate change and digital disruption. But the biggest problem on planet Earth is human thinking. Now, of course, it's also the biggest opportunity if we can do something about it. And so in this session, for the next few minutes, and I'm very glad to be here presenting as part of Zondra's presentation with the Arab and African Youth Platform, I'd like you to think about thinking. We call that, cognitive scientists call it metacognition, but it's just thinking about thinking. Not just reacting to stimuli, but thinking about how we react. And that's what we're going to talk about in this session. So the biggest problem on Earth is thinking. What can we do about it? Well, where does thinking come from? And of course, it's a product of the human brain. And the good thing is that everybody in the room here has one. Otherwise, it'd be a more difficult seminar if we had to deliver human brains. So you've got your human brain, the most amazing machine in the universe. As far as we know, there is nothing in the universe more complex, more powerful, and more amazing than the human brain. The end result of 15 billion years of evolution, and you've got one. But the problem is we're a little short on software. So I want to talk to you today a little bit about the problem of the brain, the problem of thinking, but then again, what can we do about it? Now, if you think of your brain as a neck-top computer, we've got laptop computers and desktop, and we've got our smartphones and so on, but we have this biological neck-top computer 1 million times more powerful than any other computer than we know of at present. But we are short on software. The main software that we teach at school is the right-wrong system. It's a binary system, which means two positions. So we have right and wrong. We have to get the right answer and don't make any mistakes. Now that's very useful. Like other tools, like other apps, like other software, it's useful. But by itself, it's not enough. The trouble with the binary system or the right-wrong system, there's only two positions. So if you have, black or white, male, female, us versus them. And so it does tend to lead to conflict and to argument and make us very slow thinkers. And that is one of the biggest problems on Earth, is binary thinking. So what we want to look at in this session today is trinary thinking, where you have three positions. So in binary thinking, the alternative to good is bad, or the alternative to right is wrong. We can see in our parliamentary system, all the people on this side say, we're right, and nothing you say makes any sense. And then all the people on the other side say, no, we're right, and nothing you say makes any sense. So that's the binary system argumenting, because if there's such a thing as right and wrong, well, naturally I'm right and you're wrong. But if we can go beyond binary thinking and to trinary thinking, where we have three positions. So the alternative to good is not just bad, but it's also better. And better can lead us into design, into innovation, into lateral thinking, and what I'm going to introduce to you today, X10 thinking, or times 10 thinking. A real boost, a real powerful software for your brain to enable you to escape from your point of view, escape from the right-wrong discussion, and to move into something much, much better, even 10 times better. Now, a little bit of a look first at the machine that we're using, the human brain, and I know you've already got one. We talk about the fourth brain because, first of all, let's look at the first three brains. We've actually got three brains. The old reptile brain, millions of years ago, the reptile brain was the first to emerge, small part of the brain, deep into the brain. It's probably our most prized possession because it operates all of our bodily systems, your blood pressure, your heart rate, and so on. It has deep evolutionary therapy built into it. And so this is the thing that enables us to live. And it's all automated, and it comes at birth. Then, a million generations later, was the development of the mammalian brain, and the mammalian brain is the emotional brain. Reptiles don't have much of an emotional life, but mammals, yes. So the mammalian brain, we call it also the limbic system, and it has all the wide range of emotions that enable us to choose our behavior, or at least to trigger our behavior. So fear, of course, is the big one. That's the one that's enabled us to survive. But we have a wide range of emotions: disgust, love, and so on, many other emotions. So that's the limbic system. And then hundreds of thousands of generations later was the development of the great big fat brain, the neocortex. That's what makes the human head so big compared to the size of its body. It's what makes babies have to be born so premature, just to get that head out, and why human babies need a lot of nurturing for a long time compared to other animals because of that big brain. Now, all of these three brains, the reptile brain, the mammal brain, and the human brain, were given to us genetically. But there's now a fourth brain. And if you put your hand just on your forehead like this, just below your hand, you can feel that front of your big brain called the PFC, or the prefrontal cortex. Now, that's different than the other three brains because that didn't come genetically. That had to be wired up since you were born, based on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of successes and failures in real life. This is the brain that enables you to survive in the street where you live, in the family you live, the society you live, the geography, the climate, and so on. So not delivered just by genes, but wired up in real time. It gives you the right here and the right now. Now, it's also our executive brain. It's our decision brain. It's the decider. It's where you make your choices, which would dictate both the quality and the quantity even of your life. It's our social brain, our morals, our values, and so on. Very, very important. Now, this is where the problems lie. This is where the problems and the opportunities, where when we don't have good software for our PFC, our fourth brain, and also we're not getting the best out. We're not making the best decisions we can make. And the other problem is it doesn't come online until the mid-20s. So many of the people in this room right now, your PFC is still not fully developed. So the software that we're going to give you in the next session will help you to develop your PFC, will give you a real advantage in getting the best out of the executive brain, the big decider, to enable you to make much better decisions. So the fourth brain, the reptile brain, the mammal brain, the big neocortex, and now the prefrontal cortex, that's the brain that creates the life that you have, the life you enjoy, and the life you want to have going forward from today's session. We're going to give you some software for your PFC in the next session.